And so we come to the final installment of the first ever Schlocktober on Screw Attack, which I'd say has overall been pretty damn successful. And you know, when I first saw October coming up again this year, I wasn't 100% convinced I'd bring the series back, even though everyone kept asking me to. Maybe a new-ish show deserved a fresh start, untethered to old traditions, right? Plus, more substantively, I was starting to wonder if my backlog of cinematic oddity was starting to run dry in terms of what could actually turn into a month of episodes. But then I remembered that stuff like the Manitou exists, and I know I owe it to you all to keep on going. Okay, so this one is going to need a small disclaimer. The Manitou is one of those 70s movies that was looking to piggyback on a then-recent wave of mainstream pop culture interest in Native American, spiritual, and mythological concepts, and like a lot of other variations on that theme, it's well-meaning but engages in a lot of tacky, uncomfortable, unwittingly condescending misuse of culture and iconography, most egregiously the common practice of acting as though Native American spirituality is both a singular entity and indistinguishable from trendy, upscale 20th century New Age gobbledygook, as opposed to many, many wholly unique permutations of ancient religious practices. Case in point, a Manitou is an Algonquin word usually used to describe a life force permeating the natural world, but the Manitou, which is based on a series of novels by Graham Masterson, uses it interchangeably to describe human soul, the souls of animals, and even the animistic spirits of objects both natural and man-made. So basically, this, I swear to you, though you may not believe me in a moment, totally serious-minded movie has exactly the same grasp of its own subject matter as Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas. Point being, I'm not an expert in Native American culture either, so if anything reductive or appropriative gets said here, don't blame me, blame this ridiculous-ass movie I'm describing, okay? Okay. I can take this time at the start, by the way, because while the Manitou has an infamous reputation for weirdness, once it gets to the point, it takes forever to get to the point, so I can kind of breeze through a lot of the story. Anyway, the plot of this thing is that a well-heeled San Francisco woman named Karen has a strange tumor growing on the back of her neck. Her case is being handled by a world-renowned tumor specialist because, unrevealed to her for some reason, the damn thing is growing less like a tumor than it is like a fetus, which is never good news. Before going under the knife, she reconnects with her ex-boyfriend Harry, a fraud fortune teller played by Tony Curtis, really, as simultaneously the most and least convincing fake psychic ever. But during Karen's surgery, a strange invisible force disrupts the operation. And then one of Glenn Quagmire as Dr. Strange's clients has a psychic freakout.
Look at that, and for you personally, I see some... Please, the name is Erskine. You must send an ambulance.
Surprisingly, Harry is that rare person in a horror movie who has actually seen a horror movie before in his life, so he immediately puts two and two together and figures out that Karen is afflicted by some kind of evil spirit. After consulting with some actual psychic friends, a seance, and Burgess Meredith, because of course he's in this, it's determined that Karen's condition is similar to accounts of possession from Native American folklore. So Harry seeks out the help of a medicine man named John Singing Rock.
What does a white man want with Indian magic?
Don't you immediately like this dude?
My fee will be $100,000 to the Indian Educational Foundation.
And you?
Well, I need some tobacco. I'm running a little low.
That's distinguished character actor Michael Ansara, by the way, who frequently portrayed Native Americans even though he himself was of Lebanese Arab descent. If his voice sounds familiar to you, it's because he also performed the voice of Mr. Freeze in a bunch of Batman stuff. In any case, it's through John Singing Rock that the Manitou reveals its true intention. It's the Exorcist, but with native spirituality instead of Catholicism, and it really does try to make that as interesting as it sounds. Before it goes completely bugnuts crazy.
Spirit of rock, take my hand.
Yep. That scene is pretty much why anyone remembers this movie, and that is our big evil monster for the proceedings, a malformed Native American little person. Meet Misquamacus, a 400-year-old evil medicine man reborn to wreak havoc on the modern world with his vaguely defined power set of throwing fireballs, conjuring ghost dinosaurs, causing earthquakes, and freezing hospital wings. All while overpowering the various good Manitous John Singing Rock summons to counter him.
Manitou, Bear Manitou, hold Misquamacus. River Manitou, help your brother! Hold Misquamacus! Hold him!
But Harry discovers Misquamacus' kryptonite. He has trouble manipulating technology, because he's from the pre-electronic age. Now that could set up an interesting idea, magic versus science, modernity versus the ancient world, but what it means in this movie is just pick up a computer and fucking throw it at him. Okay, so they decide to turn on all the high-tech equipment in the hospital so that Singing Rock can call on their newfangled technology Manitou to fight Misquamacus, since I guess if the spirits of Bear, Mountain, and Wind aren't doing the trick, the spirits of Apple II, Fax Machine, and Mr. Coffee will. Except it doesn't.
Send Misquamacus back! I can't do it. They won't come. The machine's Manitous won't come. It's white man's medicine.
Yep, that's what we're going with here. Singing Rock can't summon the Manitous of modern objects because technology is white people magic. Good lord. So instead, Karen becomes imbued with their power for the final battle with Misquamacus and his demonic backup, the Great Old One. And I swear to you, this is how the movie ends. Topless lasers versus meteorite battle, because why the hell not? Well, that does it for Schlocktober, everybody. I hope you all had as good a time as I did. Have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you here next week as we return to our regularly scheduled programming with an all-new Game Overthinker.